So we welcome you back into Pioneer Arena for tonight's South Atlantic Conference Showdown. Tusculum and the UVa-Wise Cavaliers. Cavaliers come in here 6-3 on the year, 2-2 in the league, as they have won their last outing. They did that as they took on Newberry and come up with that victory. So that's something very similar for the Pioneers and them. They have actually knocked off that Newberry team. Tusculum did so 61-47. Starting five for the Cavaliers, it'll be Caitlin Ross, the 5'6 freshman out of Kingston, Tennessee from Midway High School, the reigning conference player of the week. Hannah Oliver, the 5'6 junior out of Woodbridge, Virginia. Kaylee Johnson, the 5'10 fourth-year junior out of Elizabethton, Tennessee from Happy Valley High School. Mackenzie King, the 5'10 sophomore from Harlan, Kentucky out of Harlan High School, chose Wise over Wingate. And Sanita Webb, the 5'11 senior from Virginia Beach, Virginia, Lansdowne High School, a all-conference performer from the year ago, second team in the Mountain East for the Cavaliers. They are coached by Jamie Klusman out of Concord, a graduate in 2008, her second year in Wise, Virginia, 19-19. For the Tusculum Pioneers, it will be Jayla Arnwine, the 5'6 junior out of Knoxville, Tennessee from Bearden High School. Sydney Wilson, the 5'9 graduate from Greensboro out of Northern Guilford High School. Casey Johnson, the 6' graduate out of Greensboro, North Carolina, also Northern Guilford High School. Maddie Sutton, who has been a wonderful surprise for the Pioneers this year, stepping into that starting five at the 5. The 6' junior from Wallen, Tennessee, out of Heritage High School. And Mia Long, the 5'4 senior from Ann Arbor, Michigan, the Concordia, Michigan transfer and Huron High School product. This season at 13.8 points per contest, 3.8 rebounds, shooting 52% from the field, and just under, probably needs to improve on the three-point percentage shooting, but 71% from the free throw line, a grave improvement from a year ago. Pioneers are coached by Devin Carter in his 5th year, 62 and 54 for the Tusculum Pioneers. Assisted by Jordan Sanders, Ashley Rodriguez, and Camden Boehner. The Pioneers in this one, our official will be Tony Sherrill, Josh Lazane, and Joshua Orrick, as the opening tip will be taken by the Pioneers. We're underway. Glad you could be with us. Bride State and courtside game station engineer is the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network, Nathan Humbert. And this will be an offensive foul right away, as Maddie Sutton might have gotten away with the travel to begin with, but then did not get away with the lowering of the shoulder for the offensive foul. Unfortunate against the Tusculum Pioneers. So it will be Pioneer, or I should say Cavalier ball. Just opening seconds in, but an opening turnover. And this will go to Casey Johnson. She had her shot blocked as she went up after the Pioneers come up with the steal on the inbound. Mia Long with it on the right side is watched by the freshman Ross. Into the paint, little stop, step, back out. Now top of the key. This will be Sutton. Sutton over to Wilson. Wilson with it at the top of the key. Off the dribble, pull-up jumper is in and out. That one is no good, and rebounded by Sunita Webb of the Cavaliers. But a good look, and into the front court will be Ross. Ross will back it out to the top of the key as Mackenzie King. Now right side, Kaylee Johnson. Johnson, the ball knocked away and stolen by Mia Long. Long taking it away from Hannah Oliver, was looking for Casey Johnson. The pass was too far ahead of her. Pioneers will give it up. So immediately into the basketball game comes Van Zant, the 5'7" freshman out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and famed Blackman High School. Cavaliers with it. Pioneers come with some full court pressure in that back court. Van Zant to inbound on the baseline. Will get it inside to Hannah Oliver, at least into the back court. Van Zant will run it across the midcourt stripe, and now the double team will come and try to pass out of it. Trouble. It's going to be stolen away by the Pioneers, and Mia Long has her second of the game, averaging 3.4 a game. And the time right down the lane, right up off the glass, bank it in. Mia Long leads for the Pioneers in scoring, and she has the first two for the Pioneers. 2-0 Tusculum. Then a blocking foul will be whistled against Mia Long, trying to stay in front of Ross. And not a popular call either. Just lowering the shoulder, and Maddie Sutton was whistled for a foul for basically lowering the shoulder, and that was a very similar call right there, and that goes against Mia Long. So her first and the team's second here in the early going. Across the midcourt stripe, this will be Caitlin Ross. Tusculum leading 2-0. Really, Wise hasn't even been into a half-court set. King at the top of the key. Watched by Casey Johnson. King right down the lane. She'll put it off the glass and bank it in to tie the game at 2. Long will take it across the stripe for the Pioneers without resistance. She'll penetrate, drive right to the rim, put it up and in. Well, if that's the way it's going to be all game long, Mia Long's going to have 60 points. And then a reach-in foul. That's going to go against Wilson. And the Pioneers have picked up 3 quick fouls here in the early going. So Sydney Wilson will pick up number 1. On the inbound, this is going to be Ross looking, bouncing it to Webb. Pioneers leading 4-2. Webb fading away, banking it in. The all-conference performer from a year ago ties the game at 4. 2 minutes gone here in this opening quarter. Long into the front court. Arnwine from the left wing gets a screen, will penetrate right down the lane, draw some contact, will earn a trip to the free throw line. That'll be the first against the Highland Cavaliers. It'll go against Caitlin Ross. That'll be her first. So to the free throw line is going to go Jayla Arnwine. Career high 19 against King, and the only game in double figures so far this season. And her first free throw is off the mark. And just over the last 5 have struggled from the field, just 6 of 32 from the field. And at the free throw line, 63%. Missed them both, rebounded by King of Wise. So Highland Cavalier basketball tied at 4 here in this opening quarter. Steal by Arnwine. This ball's going to be tied up, jump ball to the Highland Cavaliers. Well, Arnwine had stolen it, And then Oliver tried to get it back, reaching in and tying the ball up. So on the inbound, this is going to be Van Zant right at the midcourt stripe. And a whistle for a foul on the inbound. And Arnwine's going to be whistled for her first. And team foul number 4 already on the Pioneers. So just, 2.5 minutes in, already 4 personal fouls against the Pioneers in the early going. But good energy. Very active. Webb on the inbound to Van Zant. Van Zant picked up by Wilson. Now King driving on Long. Left baseline. Top of the key is Ross. Ross might have taken a little bit of an extra slide, but we say play on. 4 to shoot. King lets it fly for 3. That one's off the mark. Weak side rebound by Wilson, looking to run. Pioneers on the break into the front court. Wilson takes it all the way, missing it. And then Casey Johnson ripping away the rebound. Extra pass to Arnwine for 3. No. Rebound is off of Tusculum, out of play. Couldn't get that second chance opportunity. But another good look by the Pioneers nonetheless. And a good chance at a second chance opportunity. Tusculum struggling. Just 2 of 6 from the field to begin. On the run into the front court, Van Zant has Casey Johnson shadowing her. Pass out to the top of the key. This will be Ross. Ross on the left wing, bouncing it into King. And then a whistle as Maddie Sutton comes over to close it out. And Sutton is going to pick up her second personal foul, just coming over to stand there. It's very unfortunate. So number 5 on the Pioneers here in the early going. So Kaylee Johnson is into the contest, returning for Wise. So at the free throw line will be Mackenzie King. King will go to the stripe after a little conversation. 79% from the free throw line this year and makes the first. As a team, 73% for the Highland Cavaliers. That's rounding up, 72.7. She made them both. So King gives the Cavs a 6-4 advantage. 6:40 to play here in this opening quarter of action. Mia Long on the right side. Little switch right down the lane. A lot of contact as she takes off down the lane. A lot less contact against the Pioneers here very early, but the ball just apparently went out of bounds, and I guess they're going to say it went off Virginia-Wise. That's a tough call as well, because it looked like Mia Long just lost it out of play. Wilson at the top of the key. Casey Johnson, watched by King. Johnson right down the lane, put it off the glass and bank it in. Tie the game at 6. All 6 points in the paint for the Pioneers. By the way, into the contest, Brianna Dixon for the Pioneers as Sutton sits down with those 2 personal fouls. Little pick and roll, give and go with Webb, but it's knocked away by Wilson. Tusculum forces a turnover. Arnwine, too long at the lane, put it up and in. Another point in the paint. The Pioneers are just peppering it. 4 field goals, all of them right at the rim. Nothing outside for Tusculum. King will try a 3 and rip it in. Wow, Mackenzie King just catch and shoot, let it fly. 49% from 3, and the Cavaliers a 9-8 advantage. Mia Long, a little shoulder juke in the lane. Count it, 1. Just put Ross on her shoulder. And then King came late, and King is whistled for the foul. That'll be her first, team's second, and Mia Long will earn a trip to the free throw line for the Pioneers. 10th in scoring, tied for second in steals, already with 2 steals in the game, and 5th in assists in the league. Cannot hit on the 3-point play opportunity at 71% this year. Make that 10-9, the Highland Cavaliers. Down by 1 with the ball. Van Zant with the tough catch. And then Casey Johnson comes late. Van Zant with an and 1 opportunity. And she'll go to the free throw line. They're going to get Arnwine for that foul. So Casey Johnson's going to be whistled for that foul. That'll be her first. So to the free throw line will go Van Zandt. And she'll hit the three-point play. 54% on the year. 12-10 Wise. 5.5 to play here in this opening quarter of action. And the Cavaliers shooting well, 4 of 5 from the field. Best shooting team in the league, 47% as a team. And Mia Long right down the lane again and put it up and in. Everything is at the rim for the Pioneers. 6 field goals, 6 in the paint. Van Zandt beats the press on the long pass into the front court. Pioneers back organized defensively. Webb working against Johnson will put it up and in. Very active as Webb has her 4th point. 14-12 UVa-Wise. Under 5 to play here in this opening quarter. Long across the stripe. Left side, Jayla Arnwine. Arnwine, top of the key to Johnson. Now Dixon at the three-point line. This pass is nearly stolen, but saved by Arnwine. Arnwine, Casey Johnson, into the corner. 3-ball by Wilson is blocked by Kaylee Johnson, and then after a scramble for the basketball collision, ball is out of bounds off Wise, apparently, and that takes us to a timeout. Holy cow. So we go to a break. 4:30 to play in the opening quarter, where it's Virginia-Wise 14, Tusculum 12. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
My name is Trent Gibson. I play basketball here and I'm a sophomore. I chose Tusculum because of the family atmosphere that's given. As soon as I walked on campus, I was embraced. And also just because of the academics. I feel like I'm pushed every day to be my best.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsоncitytoyota.com.
The Virginia-Wise Cavaliers have hit 3 of their last 3 shots, and they are also 5 of 6 to start the game. The Pioneers 6 of 12. And they're going to get a traveling violation on the inbound on Mia Long, who already has 10 points on 5 of 6 from the field. King with 7 to lead the way for the Cavs. Van Zandt pressured in the backcourt. Ross finding Webb, layup, good. Good ball movement that time by Virginia-Wise. Largest lead of the game, 16-12. Dixon fires a baseline 3. Bang! Brianna Dixon. And the Pioneers' first outside shot that falls. 1 of 3 from 3. 16-15, and I mean outside shot, outside of the paint. Webb gives it up. Long pass into the front court, taken by Van Zandt. Will run it right to the rim, put it up, front of the rim, no. Webb, offensive rebound, second chance is good. What she's best at. Second chance opportunities. 18-15, Virginia-Wise. Long, inside, outside to Wilson, baseline 3. It rattles out, no good. Rebounded by Webb of the Cavs. 18-15, Virginia-Wise. Into the front court will come Ross. Right to left on your radio dial as I view it. And then put it up off the glass and bank it in on Long. 20-15. Long pass up ahead for Arnwine, who draws the foul and will earn a trip to the free throw line, and she'll shoot 2. Elle Hutchinson will check into the game. And Arnwine will get a breather. Apparently that was not, what did they call? A traveling violation instead of the foul. Sorry. So Hutchinson into the contest. Into the front court. come the Cavs. Down the lane, a nice little fadeaway that's no good. And the rebound is tipped out by the Pioneers. Wilson and Johnson were both there after Hannah Oliver could not finish. So it will be Cavalier inbound. Baseline front court. They lead it 20-15 in the early going. 3:10 to play here in this opening quarter. Webb on the inbound. Little out of control. Put up the runner with the left hand. It's no good. And a rebound by Casey Johnson. Wilson will take off right to the rim. Put it up and in. Not as organized defensively for the Cavaliers. Here they come, beating the press. Van Zandt on the baseline, back out. Kaylee Johnson for three. That one is up. Rims? No. Rebound taken by the Pioneers. Wilson. 20-17 Pioneers. On the drive, Long, right side Dixon. Dixon on the right baseline. Now back out to the top of the key on the dribble. This will be Wilson. Wilson gets a screen. Takes off in the lane. Outside Dixon. Extra pass Casey Johnson. Straight away. Bang! Pioneers tied up at 20. Long pass into the front court for Oliver, and the Pioneers force a turnover. Another turnover against the Cavs. That'll be their fifth. Tusculum's given it up 4 times here in the early going. Tied at 20, where Tusculum's hit 7 of their last 9 shots. Again, defense at a premium. 2-3 zone. Mia Long on the right wing. On the dribble. Surveying the defense. To the top, Long. To the right, Johnson. Back to Long. Long, dribble penetration. And an offensive foul on Mia Long, and that's going to be her second. So number 2 on her. Marta Rodriguez will check into the game, her 7th game this year. Mia will get the breather again, prone to that early foul trouble, and unfortunately was whistled for an offensive foul here. Johnson on the inbound. Johnson watched by Dixon as she'll take it into the front court for the Cavaliers. And then a traveling violation to give it right back. Pioneers have turned it over 5 times, and 3 of them offensive fouls. In the front court come the Pioneers. They wear the home white, black letters and numbers. L. Hutchinson, Marta Rodriguez, Hutchinson. And this ball will be kicked by Ross, and the Pioneers will have an inbound situation. Aaliyah Miller to check into the contest for the Pioneers, and will come in for Hutchinson. Like to see Miller get going, all the credentials for her coming in out of junior college. Rodriguez, Casey Johnson, layup missed, rebounded by Webb. Good movement by the Pioneers, didn't get the finish. Oliver, Ross, dribble drive, right down the lane. Webb overshot it, got it back, put it up, missed it. Rebounded by Miller. Rodriguez will take it across the stripe for the Pioneers. On the left side, 3 ball by Wilson. Bang! Sydney Wilson from downtown. Dixon comes up with the steal for the Pioneers. It's a 4-on-1 break. She'll find Wilson from the left side to finish it off. Quick transition. Here come the Highland Cavaliers, and Ross will end that after the quick transition. Pioneers had too many to the rim that time and then slowed down. Pioneers had built their largest lead just moments ago if they've been on a 10-0 run. Short-lived at 5-point lead. 3 ball. In and out, no good. Rebound taken by Webb. 20 seconds to play in the quarter. Into the front court will be Ross. Back and forth we've gone here in the first quarter of action. Pioneers and the Cavaliers shooting over 50% for the first half. Ross in the lane, floater, rims, good. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Rodriguez, good if it goes. No. And that will end the opening quarter of action. At the end of 1, it's Tusculum 25 and Virginia-Wise 24. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder. the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division 2, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
The first date. Only one chance to make that first impression. Don't worry, this might be new for you, but Ingalls has been there before. From flowers to the freshest ingredients, we have everything you need to put your best foot forward.
I'm so sorry.
Remember, you can't get to happily ever after without once upon a time.
Wow, it's funny running into
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never...
25-24, Tusculum by 1 over UVa-Wise. We are trying to determine who has the basketball. So it'll be Cavalier basketball. On the inbound, this will be Ross. Pioneers with foul trouble. I've impressed with Virginia-Wise, their ability to play without fouling. They picked up just 2 in that opening quarter. Tusculum, Mia Long and Maddie Sutton, 2 starters on the bench with foul trouble. Webb has been solid, 8 points, 6 rebounds. In the paint, looking back door, knocked away, and off of Ross, out of play. This is a missed call. That's a tough call. I don't think Ross touched it, and Ross is arguing that point as well. So it will be Pioneer basketball. They get a fortunate break. 9.5 to play here in this opening half. Miller skips it. Dixon, 1 extra pass to Wilson in the corner for 3. The knuckleball will not go. Miller battling for the rebound, and it's knocked out of bounds off of Miller. So it'll be Cavalier basketball. Tusculum 11 for 21. After an 11 of 20 first quarter shooting, Virginia-Wise, they don't have second chance opportunities. They have missed shots. They're 10 of 17 from the field, 59% for the top shooting team by percentage in the league. Van Zandt in the backcourt. Dixon with the near steal, and Dixon battling. Come on. Dixon battling, just trying to get that basketball be whistled for her first. Team's first of the quarter. 25-24 Tusculum. Across the stripe will be Ross into the front court for the Cavs. Fakes the handoff and then tries to go baseline. Does to Kaylee Johnson. Johnson out to Van Zandt for a 3. No, front of the rim. Rebound Johnson, put back, good. And the Cavaliers on a 6-0 spurt take the lead. After the Pioneers went on a 10-0 run, the Cavaliers have responded with 6 straight. 26-25, Virginia-Wise. Rodriguez into the front court. Bouncing it to Dixon. Wilson in the corner is Miller. She'll drive baseline. A little one-handed floater is good. That was a good-looking shot by Aaliyah Miller. And the Pioneers back in front, 27-26. Ross around a double team. Pass is knocked away and stolen by Wilson into the hands of Miller. Miller is 2v3. Rodriguez will dribble it off her knee and out of play. So Hutchinson will return to the basketball game for the Pioneers, who lead by a point but have turned it over again, that time in transition. The Highland Cavaliers, 9 turnovers to the Pioneers' 6 in the early going. Van Zandt. Johnson. Oliver. Deep 3 by Oliver is good. Hannah Oliver given just a little daylight. Shoots just 31% from downtown, but that's a big one. 29-27 Highland Cavaliers. Right side, this is going to be Hutchinson. Left side, Miller in the corner. This will be Wilson at 3. Answers. And back and forth the lead goes. 30-29 Tusculum. into the front court on the long pass. Van Zant into the lane. Floater is short. Webb battles for the rebound, and she was out of bounds when she got it, and then forced out of bounds. Casey Johnson has battled and done well and given up some offense for a lot of defense in this one. And here comes Maya Belton. Belton will check in to give KJ a breather. She has battled defensively in this one. 7:35 left in this opening half. Hutchinson out there with Dixon, Miller, Arnwine, Belton, and Wilson. I might have said too many people. I did. Miller not out there. Dixon in the corner to Wilson, baseline three. Bang! Back to back by Sid Wilson. That kid Sid doing work. 33-29 Tusculum. Oliver in the backcourt. Knocked away by Dixon. Oliver gets it back. Back to the top will be Kaylee Johnson. Been impressed with Brianna Dixon. In the paint, Webb battling with Maya Belton. This pass is thrown away and turned over. Belton playing the 5. Unbelievable. Jazz Williams into the contest for the Pirates. And they'll give Dixon a breather as she has played really well also. Really both teams. We're talking both teams have put on a show. We've had just long-range shots. We've had in the paint. Good defense, good steals, good turnovers, good transition, both ways. Maya Belton for 3. That one's no good. Rebound is loose, picked up by Van Zant. Van Zant sprints it into the front court. Trailing the play is Arnwine, knocking it away. 6:41 to play. So we have a stoppage before we get the ball back in. So do we have a 3 or do we have a 2? The score what we have is 32-29. And that is what the score will be, apparently. We had it 33-29. We had one that gave a 3, one that gave a 2, and we were confused. So the score is officially 32-29. Kaylee Johnson inside the paint scores to cut it to 1. 32-31. Kaylee Johnson, Happy Valley's all-time leading scorer. Part of that great class, just 4 years ago. In the corner, Jayla Arnwine a 3, overshot it, missed everything, and the ball is out of bounds off of the Pioneers. So it's been a tough stretch for Arnwine, where she's shooting just under now 18% over her last 5 games. Top of the key, this will be Oliver. Oliver. Johnson lobbing it to Oliver. You handle that from Arnwine because she plays so hard. She's a gritty, gutty performer. Ross in the corner. Oliver, Ross in the paint. Checking into the contest is Stanley. Van Zant, little layup is good for the lead again by the Highland Cavaliers. 33-32. 5:45 to play in this opening half. Across the stripe, right side, extra pass, Arnwine, back to the top, Hutchinson. Hutchinson, left side to Wilson. Belton, baseline 3. This one no good. Belton battling for the rebound. It's loose. It's on the floor. It's tied up, and this should belong and will belong to the Pioneers. With 5:33 to play here in this opening half, Pioneers will have the basketball back on the alternate arrow possession. Cooling off a bit are the Pioneers shooting, but not for the Highland Cavaliers. They're 14 of 23. Pass on the inbound is stolen by Kaylee Johnson. Ross. In the corner, Oliver, catch and shoot 3. Back iron, no good. Rebound by Maya Belton. Belton to Hutchinson. Pioneers are just trying to survive it without Mia Long with those 2 personal fouls she picked up in the opening quarter. And we're just trading blows. We've been trading blows all first half. Hutchinson looking for a pick and roll with Williams. Arnwine on the left wing, 10 to shoot. Williams in the paint, turnaround, overshot it, and the rebound weak side taken by the Highland Cavaliers, Ross. Oliver across the stripe. Oliver gets a Stanley screen. Johnson on the baseline, watched by Wilson. Ball is loose in the paint, and then a whistle for what? maybe a kick ball. Timeout on the floor. We'll take it and return right after this. Back in a minute. 4:45 to play here in this opening half, where it's Virginia-Wise 33, Tusculum 32. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Tusculum University is Tennessee's first university. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Students from 31 states and 15 countries have found a home here. With nearly 60 areas of study, Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit www.tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
It's fine. It'll
11 lead changes, 6 ties. Virginia-Wise leads 33-32. And after a strong start, points in the paint for the Pioneers, Wise has scored 22 points in the paint, about to have 24. Van Zandt lays it up and in. Good backdoor cut by Van Zandt. 35-32. Virginia-Wise. Casey Johnson back on the floor for the Pioneers. Arnwine will fake a three. Inside-outside game. This will be Wilson. Wilson, Casey Johnson. Johnson drives around Stanley and draws the foul. A rare opportunity at the free throw line for the Pioneers, as Stanley will be whistled for her first. Team's first. Only the third foul in the entire half against the Highland Cavaliers. Dixon back into the game for the Pioneers, and Casey Johnson will go to the free throw line. Johnson's free throw is good. She became the 17th player in program history to go for 1,000 points for her career. Did that against Catawba. She hit a free throw in the third. She hit both free throws here. 88% on the year from the stripe. Pioneers down one. 35-34. Double team. Van Zandt's pass finds Stanley. Underneath is Oliver for a layup is good. They're beating the press and they're getting points at the bucket. 37-34 Cavaliers. Right side. Top of the key is Johnson. Right side Dixon. Wilson. As the Highland Cavaliers have come out of that zone. Well, maybe not. On the right side, this will be Dixon. Shoveling it off to Wilson. Wilson. Dixon. 9 to shoot. Johnson working against Stanley in the paint. Gives it up to Arnwine. Down the lane. Draws the foul. She'll go to the free throw line and shoot a pair with 4 seconds to shoot. Looked a little discombobulated offensively there. Stanley will pick up her second, team second. Stanley, the junior from Nokesville, Virginia. And a good breather that time as well for Sanita Webb, the senior out of Virginia Beach. Sanita chose Virginia-Wise. She loved the scenery. It is beautiful. Arnwine struggling, missing the free throw. 63%. Making the second. 37-35. Marta Rodriguez back into the game. So Wilson with 12 to lead the way for all scores. 5 of 11 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, 5 of 11 from two-point territory. Closing in on 1,000 points for her career. And she has a steal. Wilson forgot to take the ball with her and then traveled. Got her head up to see who was around her. There was a bunch of red jerseys around her. And then forgot to take the ball. When she caught it, traveled. .320 to play in this opening half. 37-35. Wise. Van Zandt into the front court. Kaylee Johnson, little daylight. Pull up off the dribble is good. 39-35. Top shooting team in the league continues to improve. Tusculum is 0 for their last 4. and no field goals over the last 4 minutes. Meanwhile, in that time, Virginia-Wise has hit all 3 of their shots. Rodriguez backing it up. Back to Casey Johnson. Around Webb, around Oliver, will bank it in. Ending the drought for Tusculum. 39-37. The drought, by the way, of field goals, not scoring. Oliver into the front court. Got away with steps. Webb on the right side, Johnson. Van Zant, baseline 3 is good. 42-37, equaling the largest lead. Both teams have had 5-point leads. Left side front court, this will be Sid Wilson. Sid into the corner to Rodriguez, 15 to shoot. 3 ball by Rodriguez, grazing the front of the rim, no good. Ross forcing tempo on the sprint into the front court. Her pass is knocked away by Arnwine, tracking back for the Pioneers to knock it away. Cavaliers want to run. They've got a short bench. They played 7 players. The Pioneers have played a whole second team. 6 extra players for the Pioneers, as to just 2. See if that takes an effect in the second half. Probably won't, because Cavaliers have been playing that way all year. Van Zant turned it over. Williams back on the floor with KJ, Marta Rodriguez, Brianna Dixon, and Sydney Wilson, who's gone the entire way in this first half. And an illegal screen on Williams to turn the ball over. And so Williams will pick up her first and the second here of the quarter. But it acts as a turnover, the 9th of the Pioneers in the game. They have forced 12 turnovers against the Cavaliers, who are shooting 64% for the game, 73% this quarter. They are 8 of 11 from the field. Ross bouncing it to Webb. Oliver around Rodriguez. Van Zant. 10 points off the bench for Van Zant. Ross for 3 is off the mark, no good. Dixon with the rebound for the Pioneers. Dixon will take it across the stripe herself. Finds herself at the right elbow and now backs it out to the top of the key. Dixon, Williams, 3 off the mark. And that will go out of play. Maya Belton into the game. Pioneers 1 for their last 7. Highland Cavaliers 4 for their last 5. Van Zant, they throw over the top. Webb at the bucket. And again, they beat the press. We'll have to tweak that at halftime. Largest lead of the game right now. Under a minute to go in the first half. Virginia-Wise leading by 7. Wilson to the lane and put it in, but draws the foul on Van Zant, which is only going to be her first and the team's 3rd of the quarter. As Wilson had a little daylight, it's actually a good foul. Without me along this entire second quarter and the last 4 minutes of the first quarter due to foul trouble. Without Maddie Sutton as well for the Pioneers. They have had to deal without them in this early going. On the inbound, the Pioneers, who trail by 7. Wilson losing it, getting it back, and now driving it right to the rim. Will put it up and draw and miss it. And then a whistle for a foul on Belton? Maya Belton picking up her first, and team foul number 3 on the Pioneers. 39 seconds to play in the half, and the Highland Cavaliers have basically a season high in points against one of the best defenses in the conference, just allowing 58 points a game. Second best offense in the league at 80 points a game. Ross backdoor, reverse layup is good. Highland Cavaliers distancing themselves. They lead it by 9. Pioneers, 1 of their last 8, haven't scored in 2:19. It's a 7-0 run by the Highland Cavaliers. Marta Rodriguez at the top of the key. Bouncing it to Casey Johnson. Wilson for a 3. Back iron, straight up, no good. Rebound by Virginia-Wise, and that will end the opening half of play. Highland Cavaliers put on a run to end the first half of action. They will go to the locker room and lead it by 9. Coming up here at the half with your Pioneer halftime report, Pioneer head coach J.T. Burton will sit down with us ahead of their showdown with the Virginia-Wise Cavaliers, the first ever South Atlantic Conference showdown. First half scores, stats, and also other numbers when we return with more here from Pioneer Arena. Your score at the break, Virginia-Wise 46 and Tusculum 37. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
It's fine. It'll be okay, okay? Nobody cares about the flowers. Who needs flowers at a wedding?
At Ingalls, we know that the best of plans don't always go according to plan.
My best friend's getting married today and the florist never showed.
That's why we're always there when you need us.
What are their colors?
Purple and cream.
With smiling faces and helping hands.
No one cares. No one cares. You will look great. Flowers are not important. And where is Holly? Have you anyone seen Holly?
And although life will be predictably unpredictable,
Let's get you to that wedding.
a curveball is that much more satisfying
I got the flowers!
when you knock it out of the park.
Oh my gosh, it's awesome!
So when the plan goes out the window and improvisation becomes the order of the day, just remember, that's where the best of memories are made.
All right, they're ready for us.
True story. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Hi, my name is Nicole McMillan and I played soccer here and I currently run cross country and track and field. And why I chose Tusculum is definitely because of the coaching staff, but also the faculty in general. Everyone just makes you feel like a family. You walk around campus, you see familiar faces, and it's like a home away from home.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsoncitytoyota.com.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus?
What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
We are in Granger County, Tennessee, here at Pierce Farms, and the Pierce family has been working with Ingalls for over 30 years. It means a great deal supplying produce as a local farmer. It really touches base knowing that we're just simple people just trying to help, and we love what we do, and Ingalls is a huge part of helping us do it. Farming is who we are, and it's in our blood. God has really blessed us with the sun and the soil to grow the best tomatoes you'll find anywhere. I believe it's really in the soil. So if you're in Granger County, you farm tomatoes, then you're in. It's just a great blessing on us to actually farm and be able to farm and to supply tomatoes to people. And Ingalls really cares about family farms like Pierce Farms, and they really care about their customers. We're just glad to be a part of that. God has blessed us with a really great partnership there. They make fresh local produce have real meaning for lots of people. I'm Shane Pierce, and this is my Ingalls story.
From the first day, we looked around each other and said, we gotta go make things happen this year.
It doesn't matter what the score is at the end of the game. You have to go forward.
You have to take the game.
Attacking gets you goals real quick.
Give your best effort every day.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Stoker with the game-winning goal. The national championship goes to Shippensburg for the third consecutive year.
Valdosta State Division II national champions.
The post, Hankins scores! They win their first national title!
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who help you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
My name is Trent Gibson. I play basketball here and I'm a sophomore. I chose Tusculum because of the family atmosphere that's given. As soon as I walked on campus, I was embraced. And also just because of the academics. I feel like I'm pushed every day to be my best.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsоncitytoyota.com.
Here at the half, it is
Being a
Virginia-Wise
champion.
leading Tusculum 46-37. Elsewhere in the South Atlantic Conference tonight, it's Queens taking a 34-31 lead. They have just gone to the half. Lenoir-Rhyne and LMU, and it's the Lenoir-Rhyne Bears in Harrogate leading the Rail Splitters 34-25. And at Carson Newman at Holt Fieldhouse, it is all Lady Eagles. They are blowing away Mars Hill. They lead at 60-24. They are at the half as Braylon Weichel with 11 first-half points for Carson Newman. Halftime here, second half next. Thanks for listening to the Pioneer Halftime Report. At the break, Virginia-Wise 46, Tusculum 37. Pioneer basketball continues in a moment on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Champions know how to seize opportunities. When they see moments of greatness unfold right before their eyes, they push as hard as they possibly can, and then they push harder. Because the heart of a champion never settles, never quits, and never stops giving its all. We are champions. We are Division II. We go big, we give it everything we've got, and we win. On the field, on our campuses, in our communities, for our causes, in our careers. We rise to become champions in everything we do. We are Division II, and there are no limits here. We make our time count. We set our own path. We become champions on our terms. It's time to up your game, because we're here to play and learn. But most importantly, we're here to discover ourselves, our vision, our heart, drive to achieve every goal we aim for, because we want to be champions at the highest level, life. At Division II, the opportunities are here. Are you ready?
36-37 as we start the second half of action. We welcome you back in here to Pioneer Arena. Pride State and game station engineer, the executive producer of the Pioneer Sports Network is Nathan Humbert. Joyce Combs had something to say to me at halftime, but I couldn't listen to her because I was already talking. Highland Cavalier basketball as we start the second half. They go left to right or Joyce to Midge as we view it here in this second half. Right side, Ross. King starting this third quarter. They get it to Webb down low, and they take an immediate 11-point lead. 48-37, Virginia-Wise. Mia Long driving, and this off the side of the rim. That one is no good. Rebound taken away by the Cavaliers. Into the front court, right side. This will be Ross. Will skip it to Kaylee Johnson for three. That one is short. Webb comes over the top of Maddie Sutton, and it'll be whistled just for her first foul. Her first, team's first. After the missed shot by Kaylee Johnson may have been partially deflected as well. Well, the Pioneers need a bucket. They closed out the end of the first half, 2:45 without a point. We're right now are on it's a 9-0 run by the Highland Cavaliers. Long on the floor with Casey Johnson, Sydney Wilson, Maddie Sutton, Jayla Arnwine. Wilson on the left side. The pass is stolen by Kaylee Johnson. Johnson just deflecting the pass. They tried to go down to Sutton. And another turnover on the Pioneers will be number 10. Right side, Kaylee Johnson. To the top of the key is Oliver. Into the corner is King. She'll try a three. The southpaw is silky smooth from downtown. 51-37, Virginia-Wise. Long stops in the paint. Back out Casey Johnson for three. That one is too strong. No good. And the rebound comes down to Ross. Ross around KJ into the front court. Into the corner is Oliver for a three. That one is off the mark and no good. The rebound comes down to Casey Johnson. Mia Long into the front court. Long on Ross off the glass, got the roll. Long with 12 points. 6 of 8 from the field. Oliver in the backcourt. Running into the front court. Pass is stolen by Maddie Sutton. Here's Mia Long. Long across the stripe. Into the paint, little crossover. Back out, Maddie Sutton for a three. Bang! Maddie Sutton knocking down the three ball. Pioneers needed that one, or do they count it just to 2? I believe they did. So we take a timeout, and we return to Pioneer Arena in 1 minute. 7:56 to play here in this third quarter. It's UVA-Wise 51, Tusculum 42. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
My name is Trent Gibson. I play basketball here, and I'm a sophomore. I chose Tusculum because of the family atmosphere that's given. As soon as I walked on campus, I was embraced, and also just because of the academics. I feel like I'm pushed every day to be my best.
Johnson City Toyota is the #1 Toyota dealership in the Tri-Cities because we make buying simple. First, we discount every vehicle every day, and we stand behind what we sell with a lifetime warranty. For more, simply go to johnsoncitytoyota.com.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Both teams are 2 of 4 to start this third quarter, but Wise taking the timeout. And they lead it by 9, 51-42. Ross knocked away, gets it back, drives on Sutton, and scores it at the Lee rim. Just kind of discombobulated and taking advantage. Pioneers, Mia Long the other way, draws some contact on King, and she'll earn a trip to the free throw line, trying to answer. And the personal foul will go against Mackenzie King. That will be her second, team second of the quarter. So to the free throw line will go Mia Long. 15.7 points a game in her last 3, which is very interesting considering the fact that she's just not on the floor very much. But, you know, her numbers, 28.3 minutes per game. Missed both free throws. And Casey Johnson had the rebound, and Kaylee Johnson has it and goes to the floor with the basketball and travels. And Johnson comes up very lame, as if her back is ailing. She'll come out of the contest. Now Van Zant will come in. Got to make free throws. Tusculum has not done that today. From the free throw line, Tusculum now 3 for 9. Long around Webb and can't get the finish at the rim. 53-42 Cavaliers. Van Zandt on the right side. Last time they came here to Tusculum, ended a long losing skid. And a quick jumper, Mackenzie King. Arnwine trying to run down the floor, tripped over the official. And comes up very lame. Long will draw more contact. She'll have to finish at the rim eventually, and she'll have to finish at the free throw line too. Caitlin Ross picking up her second, team foul number 3. So the last time the Wise Cavaliers played Tusculum here at Pioneer Arena in 2016 was their first ever road win in the series after 11 straight losses. And Long missing on the first. Tusculum 18-7 all time against the Cavs, but they have won the last 2, 2015 and 2016, that same year. Long has missed 4 straight, now 5 straight at the free throw stripe. 55-42 Highland Cavaliers. Ross. Down the lane, off the glass, too strong. Rebound is loose, comes to Mia Long. Long. Arnwine, left side 3 is way short. Rebound, Maddie Sutton goes up and grabs it. 2 Highland Cavaliers are on the floor after Sutton grabs the rebound. It will be a foul that will go against Oliver. Hannah Oliver will pick up her first, and the 4th against Wise. Inbound for the Pioneers, who are laboring after a solid start shooting. Wilson draws the foul. And Wilson comes up a bit lame, running into King, who is in the restricted. Just seem to be in a hurry. So Mackenzie King will pick up her 3rd and the 2-shot bonus the rest of the way. So a mirror image start. Tusculum a lot of fouls in the opening quarter. Virginia Wise a bunch of fouls here in the second half, in the 3rd quarter. 55-42. It was that way in the 1st quarter. At the free throw line, Sydney Wilson making the first. Second free throw after Tusculum has struggled from the stripe. She made them both. 55-44. Across the stripe will be Webb for the Highland Cavaliers. Into the corner to Stanley. Bounce it back to Webb. Can't finish right away. Gets it back and will finish this time. Second chance opportunities. Top of the key. Maddie Sutton around Stanley. Casey Johnson. And a whistle for a 3-second violation against the Pioneers to turn it over. Their 11th turnover in the basketball game. Across the stripe, Ross weaving her way through traffic. Hands it off to Van Zandt. Van Zandt bouncing it on the baseline. Spinning it is Stanley, missing and drawing a foul. And that personal foul will be charged against Casey Johnson. That'll be her second, team's first here of the 3rd quarter. So Stanley to the stripe, making the first. 11 points a game. Stanley last year with a career high 26 against Fairmont State, missing the second. Rebounded by Sutton. 58-44. It equals the largest lead of the game for the Highland Cavaliers. Nia Long and one. Van Zandt will be whistled for her second. And Long will have the chance at the three-point play. Going to wish our very best to Athletic Director Doug Jones. We could say the Vice President of Student Initiatives, I guess, here at Tusculum University. Out with the flu today, or he'd be here. He would be upset with Nia Long going 0 for 6 at the free throw line, but rebounded by Sutton. Arnwine cannot finish at the rim. Rebounded by Ross. 58-46. Ball knocked away, saved by Van Zandt. Ross, step back two-pointer from 18 feet. That one rims off, no good. Rebounded by Stanley. Van Zandt for a two. In and out, no good. Rebounded by Casey Johnson. Nia Long. Long forcing tempo into the front court. Slowed down. Johnson, right side. Wilson steps into a three. Bang! Sydney Wilson. 58-49. Under 5 to play here in this third quarter. Ross with it at the midcourt stripe. Pioneers need to go on one of those patented runs, but they need to play some defense. Van Zandt for three. No. Weak side rebound. Nice box out by Sutton. Nia Long forcing tempo into the front court. Weaving her way through traffic. Stops, waits, bounces it to KJ. Spins on Stanley. At the rim, put it in. 58-51. Pioneers down to Virginia-Wise. In the paint, Webb from the right block, and this should be an offensive. Oh, they're going to count that bucket. On Arnwine. Timeout is on the floor. We're going to take the break. An and one opportunity for Webb when we return. 4:21 to play in the third. Where it's Virginia-Wise 60, Tusculum at 51. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneer Sports Network.
Family.
Food's here!
What's it mean to you?
We got lunch.
To us, it means the people you care about, look out for, and yeah, love. Even if you'd never let them hear you say it.
Hey, you're eating hummus? What's wrong with hummus?
Here at Ingalls, we have everything you need to gather around the table and give each other a hard time. Because that's what families do. Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Hello, my name is Jacob Fate, and I'm the Dean of the College of Business at Tusculum University. I'm proud to share with you that the programs in the College of Business received accreditation through ACBSP in December of 2018. The Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs accredits business schools and programs worldwide. This accreditation elevates our programs to the top programs worldwide.
Webb will be at the free throw line where her Highland Cavaliers lead it by 9, 60-51. Make it 10, 61-51. They're 5 of 6 at the free throw line. Webb with 19 points, 8 rebounds. And the Highland Cavaliers 6 of 13 from the field here in the third. Maddie Sutton will draw a foul inside. I think it's Stanley. So Stanley will pick up the personal, her third, and 2 shots from Maddie Sutton. 14 from Nia Long, 7 of 10 from the field. She's 0 for 6 at the free throw lines. Mackenzie King back in for the Highland Cavaliers. 17 for Sid Wilson to lead Tusculum. Casey Johnson with 11 and 6 boards here in this early in the second half. Sutton at the free throw line for the Pioneers is good on her first. Hit double figures in scoring 6 times this year, including the career high 19 at Newberry. And is tied for the conference lead in free throw percentage at 88%. Made them both. 61-53, Highland Cavaliers, and a 5-second count on Van Zant to give the ball back to the Pioneers. Tusculum has to start turning these turnovers into points, even though the Pioneers, who have forced now 14, have scored just 9 points off the 14 turnovers, now the 15th turnover. Wilson will lob it, looking for Long, knocked away from Long, who gets it right back. Sutton, Wilson, driving, pull-up jumper is good from 10 feet. Sid Wilson, close as the Pioneers have been since they were down 44-37. Right now 61-55. Ross, King in the paint. This pass out of bounds and turned over. 14 points. Highland Cavalier lead is down to 6 at the moment. And the Pioneers with the basketball. So it'll be Mia Long who will take it across the stripe for Tusculum. Left side to Sydney Wilson. 19 for her, closing in on 1,000 for her career. Long, dribble drive baseline. 3-ball, Wilson. Rims off, no good. Rebounded by Webb, and she'll have a double-double the next rebound. Ross into the front court. Van Zant. Van Zant, nice little stop and go on the baseline. Trailer is Ross. Back out. Kaylee Johnson, a 3, wide open, missed it. And the rebound is going to be saved by Johnson to Webb to Ross for 3. That one is no good. Rebounded by Maddie Sutton. Pioneers avoid 2 good looks. Into the paint. Casey Johnson is going to be fouled. She'll go to the free throw line. Fouled hard by Kaylee Johnson. The KJs. Kaylee picks up her first. Casey Johnson to the free throw line. Other scores in the league. Carson Newman is just absolutely annihilating Mars Hill. 79-28. Johnson at the stripe is good. LR beating LMU in Harrogate 53-36. They're in the third. And they've just started the second half. And Queens leading Coker 43-41. Johnson looking for her second. And making her second. And the Pioneers to within 4. Johnson will get a break. Dixon on the floor for Coach Devin Carter. Coach Carter 0-2 all-time against Wise. That 15-16 meeting. 2:45 here in the third, and this ball knocked away by Mia Long. On the lob, Long knocking it away for the moment from Ross, knocking it away again, and then knocking it away again, and then it's out of bounds. Did you have a good view of it? So they're trying to determine the shot clock. They'll put 13 on the shot clock. Cavaliers. Oliver on the right side. It's a 3. That's a shot clock violation against the Cavs. Webb was in the paint for a really long time, was wondering if she was going to get whistled for the 3-second count. She slipped and went down, and the official watched it the whole time, and the shot clock went from 5 down to 1. She was in the paint. Didn't call that, but did get the shot clock violation. Either way, the Pioneers have the ball down 4. 6-0 spurt for the Pioneers. Steal by Wilson. It's an 8-0 run by the Pioneers. 61-59. Ross runs it into the front court. Webb finishing at the paint is up and good. Beating the press, ending the run by the Pioneers. Wise had 4 turnovers in their last 4 possessions. And this will be a turnover as we just go end to end as we try to close out this third quarter. This personal foul will go on Kaylee Johnson, which will be her second. So at the free throw line will go Arnwy, where the Pioneers have struggled at the stripe, not over the last few moments, but just 9 of 18 at the free throw line. And after turning it over 4 times in 2.5 minutes, Virginia-Wise, they get a fast break opportunity. The Pioneers answer right back. Been some contact. There's been here and there, hit and miss stuff. I mean, it's just basketball. Kaylee Johnson trying to get her shoe tied. The officials allow her that time, freezing Jayla Arnwine at the free throw stripe, where she will shoot 2 of them. Her first is good. Second free throw by Arnwine is good. It's a 10-2 Tusculum run. Down 2. Pioneers ramping up the defense. Long comes up with the steal. Wilson for the tie. And we're tied. 63-63. And then Mia Long, gambling for a steal, will pick up her 3rd personal foul. It'll be the team's 2nd of the quarter. A minute 43 to play in the 3rd. Ross on the inbound for the Highland Cavaliers. Ross on the run into the front court. Will drive on Dixon. Draw a little slight contact on Dixon, who's going to pick up her 2nd and the team's 3rd. It's a non-shooting foul. A minute 35 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Tied at 63. Tusculum down 14 in this quarter at 51-37. Long knocking it away. Inbound situation for Ross for the Highland Cavaliers, left side front court. Van Zant on the inbound, on the drive, and is going to be tripped up by Arnwy. Just had her feet tangled up. And is that on the act of shooting? No, it is not. At least that's what they say. That's fortunate. Arnwy's going to pick up her 2nd. And actually, it will be the 2-shot bonus on the 5th foul against the Pioneers. Pardon me. So Van Zant to the free throw line, looking to get the lead right back, and does on her first. Pioneers have battled all the way back, outscoring UVa-Wise 26-17 here in the quarter. And on the 2nd miss, Long comes up with the rebound. A 1-point Cavalier lead. Van Zant defending, and Long will go to the free throw line as Webb came late and picked up the contact. And Long's going to go to the free throw line. She's going to have to cash in eventually. Sanita Webb's 2nd. And Long, who's 0 for 6 at the free throw line tonight, but finishing with 14 points. She's finishing in the paint 7 of 11. Wilson, who is 59 points away from 1,000. A little closer than that now. What is that now? 26? Long cannot hit here. 0 for 7. Oh for 8. Rebounded by Van Zant. Ross in the backcourt. Van Zant in the corner. Oliver back out top of the key. Van Zant, a wide open 3 is good. Big moment there. 67-63, the Highland Cavaliers riding the ship after the Pioneers on the impressive run. Long is under a minute to play in the 3rd. Watched by Van Zant. Gets a Sutton screen. Sutton, Casey Johnson. Wilson, top of the key, watched by Oliver. Big night for Wilson. She'll try 3. Off the mark, no good. Webb secures the rebound. She has the double-double. 67-63, Highland Cavaliers by 4. Ross. Oliver. Ross on the baseline to Webb in the paint. Nice move. Left-handed lay-in will not go. Rebounded by Maddie Sutton. Long, it takes it across the stripe. Any foul sends the Pioneers to the free throw line. The final 12 seconds of the quarter. Mia Long, 14 points. Long. Extra pass, Sutton, 3. No. And that will end the third quarter of play. Pioneers tied it at 63, but the Highland Cavaliers scored the final 4 of the quarter, and they will go to the fourth, leading by 4. End of 3. Highland Cavaliers 67, Tusculum 63. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
Both teams hit 8 field goals in that quarter, but the Pioneers went on a 24-12 run to tie the basketball game at 63 after they trailed by as many as 14 points in the early going there in that second half of action. Pioneers are down 4 right now as we start the fourth. Casey Johnson on the spin move in the lane, cannot hit. Sunita Webb with her 11th rebound. That's right at her season average of rebounds, but she has 21 points tonight. One of her top games of the year. Webb with a 25-point game against Lise McCray. 3-ball here by Ross is no good. Kaylee Johnson coming over the top, battling for the rebound. She's going to pick up her 3rd foul and the first here in the fourth quarter. With the Pioneers trailing 67-63, both teams again shooting well. Virginia-Wise, though, 56% for the game. And Devin Carter he's not used to that. Just doesn't see things like that very often because he only allows teams 37% shooting. Mia Long weaving her way through traffic. Back out, Casey Johnson, a 3. Bang! Casey Johnson knocks down a 3. 1 point, Highland Cavalier lead. Johnson to Webb on the inbound for the Highland Cavaliers. Webb weaves her way through traffic. We'll take it into the front court to Oliver. Oliver on the right side into the hands of Kaylee Johnson. Van Zant, who's played a lot here in this one for Mackenzie King. Van Zant, Ross, a 3 in the corner. Back ironed it, no good. Kaylee Johnson with the rebound, tried to go right back up with it, missed it. Rebounded by Maddie Sutton. Pioneers down a point. 67-66. Mia Long. Wilson fires a 3. No. Rebound right to Brianna Dixon for the Pioneers and into the hands of Mia Long. Tusculum resets with 8:20 to play in the game. Long down the lane and will draw a foul. So she'll go to the free throw line. And the personal foul on Caitlin Ross will be her 3rd. Second here in the quarter. Oh, it's a non-shooting foul, sorry. Other scores in the league, Carson Newman blowing away Mars Hill. It's 91-38. LR leading LMU 58-44, and Coker and Queens leading Coker 52-45. Sid Wilson, comeback complete. Pioneers lead 69-67 here early in this fourth. Pioneers 6-0 start to the fourth quarter. Right side front court is Oliver. Oliver on the right wing on the dribble. Back to the top is Van Zant. Van Zant working on Dixon. Little scoop shot short. Rebounded by Sutton to Long. Long has Oliver to beat. Gives it up to Wilson to Long. Layup is good. Pioneers out running. Ross into the front court on the dribble. Skip pass into the corner is Oliver. Extra pass Johnson to Van Zant, top of the key. Right side is Ross, into the paint to Webb. Traveled, got away with it, spins away from Sutton, puts it in. Solid game for Webb. 23 for her, and a timeout's going to be asked for by the Pioneers. So we'll take the break, and we're back in a minute. 7:19 to play in the game, where it's Tusculum 71, the Highland Cavaliers 69. Pioneer basketball continues after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.
Tusculum University is Tennessee's first university. Established in 1794, Tusculum's beautiful campus is nestled in the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Students from 31 states and 15 countries have found a home here. With nearly 60 areas of study, Tusculum can help you pioneer your path to success. Visit www.tusculum.edu or call 423-636-7300 to discover the Pioneer experience for yourself.
In NCAA Division II, community engagement is an initiative at all 25 national championships because student athletes want to give back while competing for a national title. Over the course of the year, Division II student athletes have an opportunity to leave a lasting impression in local communities throughout the country. Whether Division II student athletes are volunteering at hospitals, schools, after-school care programs, foster homes, or retirement villages, they make a difference in the lives of others. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
It's fine. It'll be okay, okay? Nobody cares about the flowers. Who needs flowers at a wedding?
At Ingalls, we know that the best of plans don't always go according to plan.
My best friend's getting married today and the florist never showed.
That's why we're always there when you need us.
What are their 2017. Top of the key, Sutton. Wilson riding the hot hand, gives it up to Johnson. Pioneer basketball, they're up 2. Come back complete. Outscoring Wise, 8-2 here in this fourth quarter. Make it 10-2. Casey Johnson with the finish. Johnson with 18 tonight. Casey Johnson. Ross picking up the errant dribble. I guess was allowed to dribble some more. 73-69. Van Zandt, though, says, hold on, it's a 3. A step-back 3 by Van Zandt. Good player out of Blackman High School. They just do nothing but win state championships. 73-72, Tusculum. Down 14 in the third. Have taken a 4-point second-half lead. Their largest lead has been 5 points in the game. Left side, top of the key, Johnson. Right side is Long. 10 to shoot. Wilson, no. Rebounded by Ross. Highland Cavaliers can take the lead back. They've led much of the game, and they will. Van Zandt right to the rim and in. Well, she just went right to the rim. Mia Long mishandling the dribble. 74-73 Cavs. Inside the paint, Casey Johnson gets the lead right back. (75-74) Tusculum. After a little bit of a shooting slump for the Highland Cavaliers, they've righted the ship. Ross down the lane, missing this one badly. Rebounded by Casey Johnson. Mia Long will run it into the front court. Had Maddie Sutton, gives it up to her in the paint. Goes up on the right side, missed it, got it back. This time draws the foul. She'll have to earn it at the strike. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Third against Nia Van Zandt. Pardon me. Again, only 7 players used in the game for Virginia-Wise, as they have gone with basically a 6-man rotation. Stanley played a lot early in the half, but has been out. Now Mackenzie King is in. This pace, you got to wonder. Tusculum has basically played double that. First is good. Second is good. Pioneers lead by 3, 77-74. Can they get a stop? Webb, solid game for her, double-double. King, a 3 is no good, and the rebound comes to Casey Johnson. Mia Long will have it across the stripe for the Pioneers. Can they score? Long into the paint, trailing is Casey Johnson. Arnwine, Sutton, Long, Casey Johnson puts it on the floor, had it knocked away and stolen. Van Zandt into the front court. Van Zandt's layup attempt is no good. Rebound is loose, and Webb battling with KJ. And Webb is going to win this battle as Casey Johnson will be whistled for the foul. That will be number 3 on her. And the first on the team here in the fourth. Pioneers with 12 turnovers to UVA-Wise 19. On the inbound, this is going to be Ross. What a good freshman player she is. Van Zant blocked. No, she's fouled. I'm not sure who it was on. They're going to get Arnwine with that foul. That's going to be number 3 on her, and it will be free throws for Van Zant. So Van Zant, two-sport athlete star at Blackman High School, 3-time All-District, 2-time All-Region selection in basketball, and played AAU for the team. Brandon Wright, you remember that guy? Man, he was good. Makes the first, makes the second for the 54% free throw shooter. So Brianna Dixon will be in. The Pioneers holding a 1-point lead here at home. Pioneers have rallied from 14 down. They lead by 1 for the moment. Maddie Sutton giving it up inside to Dixon. And she's going to be fouled by Ross. It'll be an inbound situation, non-shooting foul. So Ross is going to pick up number 4. Well, Tusculum started making shots here in the second half, and they started taking advantage of missed shots by Virginia-Wise. Mia Long, inside out, Wilson goes baseline. Around Webb, tough floater is no good. Rebound taken away by Ross. Ross driving, shooting, and the lead. 78-77. Virginia-Wise just went coast to coast. Between the rings, Mia Long. Sutton, Casey Johnson. Johnson in the paint for Dixon over Ross, put it up and in. And Ross says, I need help. Yeah, against Brianna Dixon, you're going to need help at 6 foot tall. 79-78, Tusculum back in front. King nearly traveled. Here's Van Zant, so good. Will drive on Dixon, baseline. Needs some help, picks up the dribble. Gives it up to Ross. Webb, and 1. Sanita Webb. The foul will go against Tusculum, and that'll go against Maddie Sutton. That'll be number 3 on her. And the 3rd on the team. Webb with a season high 25 right now. Make it 26. She had 25 against Elise McRae with 17 rebounds as well. On the dribble drive is Mia Long right to the rim, ties the game at 81. 3:20 to play. It's got to come down to a critical stop. Van Zant down the lane missing. Webb with the near offense. Yes, she saves it. Back out to Ross on the right wing. Ross tripped up, gets the pass to Oliver, goes baseline, found some daylight, a little room. Her jumper is no good. The rebound comes down weak side to Casey Johnson. Johnson will take it into the front court herself, will hold it up and give it up to Mia Long. Long tried to finish herself and does off the glass. And will bank it in. The official thought that Devin Carter asked for a timeout. He did not. The Pioneers just reclaimed the lead, 83-81. Back and forth we go here in this one. Tusculum's hit their last 3 shots. And a timeout's going to be asked for by the Pioneers. Just a quick one here from Pioneer Arena. But just more on the life of Sanita Webb, who has just been solid. 29 games started last year, was a second-team All-Mountain East Conference selection, a double-double last year as well, and 139 offensive rebounds, ranked 6th in Division II. She ranked 23rd in Division II in rebounds per game, and she grabbed a career high and a Division II school-era record 23 rebounds against nationally ranked Glenville State last year. She did well against conference opponents last year. Had a 25-point game against LMU. She had 16 double-doubles which was 16th in Division II in that category. Sunita Webb is solid tonight, 26 points, 13 rebounds in her 34 minutes. And again, you're playing 7 players for the Highland Cavaliers. Tusculum has gone through a second team here in this game. Tusculum leading 83-81. So you just continue to be impressed with what the Highland Cavaliers do. And they're just a good team. They've been good. Ross into the corner. King, Webb, layup, ties it. Good ball movement. Across the stripe, this will be Mia Long. 2:15 to play in the game, tied at 83. Long down the lane, off the glass, 2 more for Mia Long. Nobody can stop her. Mia with 22. Van Zandt into the front court, double team comes, pass out of it to Ross. Ross, King on the baseline left side. Top of the key, Van Zandt. Got away with a little bit of a step. Under 2 to play. Pioneers by 2. After being down 14 in the third. This ball is kicked, and it will be Highland Cavalier basketball. And the inbound is going to be Caitlin Ross. Looking inside, knocked away, right to Ross, gets it back, tries the floater, that's no good, rebounded by Van Zandt, her putback is no good, Webb battling for the rebound, it's a jump ball, and the arrow to stay with the Highland Cavaliers. Webb just crashing the glass, and the Pioneers have been out-rebounded. Offensive boarded about even, really, to be honest with you, in this game. But right now, the critical time. Webb on the inbound. It's another second chance opportunity, though. Webb spinning. Long knocking it off of Webb, out of play, and a turnover by the Highland Cavaliers. To give it back, it's the 20th turnover of the game. Pioneers who've hit their last 4 thanks to Mia Long finishing in the paint. She's 11 of 15 for the game, shooting the basketball. Mia Long between the rings in the front court, 1:15 to play. You get the feeling they got to score. Long, right-handed finish, yes. Mia Long with the right-handed finish in the lane. And a little friendly fire, I think, for Caitlin Ross, who may have taken one right to the midsection. And maybe it was on the finish from Long, just trying to catch her breath. Caitlin Ross, boy, she needs to stay on the floor. Chose Virginia-Wise over Tusculum. And will be great for this Highland Cavalier team for the next 3 years as well. A 4-point Tusculum lead. Van Zandt will push it into the front court. Watched by Arnwine. Top of the key, Oliver. King. Van Zandt down the lane. Tough runner, got it to go. Van Zandt with the finish. And a quick timeout asked for by the Highland Cavaliers with 48 seconds to play. They can play some defense here on the quick timeout asked for by the Highland Cavaliers. So Van Zandt with a 23-point game tonight. And for her, that's going to give her a season best. She had 22 against Mars Hill, and the young freshman was just starting to come to life, just averaging 7.8 points a game, but actually asked to be a little bit more of a factor. Well, Carson Newman has beaten Mars Hill 106-44. Are you kidding me, Fruitcake? And LR leads LMU. It's 71-61. Meanwhile, it's Queens leading Coker 64-53. This Pioneer team next will be challenged by Queens this coming Saturday in Charlotte. Queens at 2-7 on the year, 1-2 in league play. This game is evenly matched when it comes to the records. Pioneers are ranked in the region, number 5. UVa-Wise not ranked, but feel as if they're being overlooked. Probably rightfully so. 40 seconds to play in the game. Mia Long, watched by Van Zandt. Left side, Arnwine. They go into the paint. Ball is knocked away. It'll be saved by Arnwine, and it's an over and back. .28 seconds to play. It's a 2-point game. Shot clock is off. Pioneers with a critical turnover. I don't know why Mia Long didn't have the ball. Ross on the inbound. Pioneers with a foul to give. 19 seconds. Ross will drive it, shot it short, rebounded by Mia Long. Give it up. And a timeout will be asked for by Devin Carter. They can advance it. Maybe. So we'll take a break. We're back in 30 seconds. 11 seconds to play. Tusculum leads the Highland Cavaliers by 2.
So much of life these days is rushing around from one place to another. Sometimes you just want to enjoy the journey on the way to the destination. And part of what makes it a little more enjoyable is an appreciation for the folks who helped you get there. At Ingalls, we know that the people who send you on your way are the same ones who keep you coming back.
I think you should take it for a spin. Are you serious?
Ingalls. All the ingredients for family.
Athletics. Once again, the voice of the Pioneers.
To play, and Pioneers lead the Highland Cavaliers 87-85. Pioneers will bring Elle Hutchinson into the contest. Free throw percentage effect there, and she's just at 70% this year, but a 71% career free throw shooter. Well, actually, she's at 68%. Long with Sydney Wilson, Casey Johnson, Hutchinson, and Maddie Sutton. Sutton and KJ, the two top free throw shooters on the team and in the league. So KJ to inbound it. We'll get it to Sid Wilson. Wilson will be fouled with 9.8 seconds to play. So Sid tying a career best 26 right now on 10 of 23 from the field, 4 of 12 at the three-point stripe. We'll go back to the free throw line, and Sid has not come out of the game. She has played every second. So Caitlin Ross will foul out of the game. Now Arnwine is back in for the defensive purpose. Some could say Arnwine, the heart and soul, the defensive gel. Mia Long gets a lot of the accolade for the steals and the thefts, but just the toughness aspect for Arnwine. First free throw is good by Sydney Wilson. A new career best, 27 for her tonight. Needed 59 to get to 1,000. At one point thought she was going to get there in this game. Makes them both. And the final timeout asked for by the Pioneers with 9.8 seconds to play. And the coach from UVa-Wise said, hey, I want the timeout because she wants to advance it. She wants the opportunity to advance. And I don't know if that's the if you're allowed to do it or not, or do they just give and charge the timeout to the Highland Cavaliers. So what's happening is the fact that the Highland Cavaliers will take the timeout. Tusculum keeps their timeout, and they will advance the ball. So each team with the timeout. Now that's what is remaining in this basketball game. So there's been a lot going on surrounding all of this. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader, where the Tusculum Pioneers take on the Highland Cavaliers in men's basketball. It's been a long time since the Pioneers have taken on Virginia-Wise, and you got to go back to 2003. Last time the Pioneers played them, I was there. Pioneers won 81-57, 2003. 89-85. Highland Cavaliers advance the ball to the right side front court inbound. Van Zant with 9 seconds and a foul on KJ. And they had it to give. So Casey Johnson whistled for the personal foul. Number 4 on her. So no more fouls to give. 8.5 to play in the basketball game. Pioneers by 4. Oliver to inbound. And the pass is tipped by Wilson. Kaylee Johnson, a 3, is well off the mark, no good. Webb gets it. Her putback is short. Rebounded by Maddie Sutton. And she'll hold on to it. The Pioneers win. The Pioneers complete the comeback, down 14, and they rally to defeat the Virginia-Wise Highland Cavaliers. What a hard-fought contest here tonight at Pioneer Arena. True grit by this Highland Cavalier team that played with just 7 players tonight, and the Pioneers had to rally. They do. They finished by hitting their last 5 shots of the game, and Sydney Wilson finishes it off at the free throw line as well. Pioneers win. The Pioneers win. Stay tuned. Our Pioneer postgame will begin right after this. Your final, Tusculum 89, Virginia-Wise 85. Pioneer basketball will continue after this on the Pioneers Sports Network.